1966. I'm going to pass it on to his former PhD supervisor. Mahmood Khan joined the SFU's Department of Economics in 1966 and retired in 2002. During that time, he taught undergraduate and graduate courses and published numerous articles and books. His research included various aspects of economic development, with particular focus on rural poverty and development. Besides teaching at universities in the United States, Turkey, Pakistan, Professor Khan has worked as a consultant for several national and international organizations, including United Nations agencies. So please join me in welcoming SFU Professor Emeritus Mahmood Khan.
You will be listening to the possum. You probably have never heard before that possums can speak. You are looking at one. Friends, I'm delighted to introduce to you with a sense of pride one of our illustrious alumni, His Excellency Dr. Mahmood Bawumia, Vice President of the Republic of Ghana. Well, that sounds a bit too long and mouthful, since I'm used to calling him Mr. Bawumia for the last 28 years. Mr. Bawumia came to the Department of Economics as a graduate student in 1991 after receiving the bachelor's and master's degrees in universities in the United Kingdom. Given our mutual interest in the problems of underdeveloped economies, we drew closer both professionally and socially. Mr. Bawumia was a keen and conscientious student and a very able teaching assistant. He chose me, I don't know for what reason, as a senior supervisor for the doctoral dissertation, in which he analyzed the impact of the structural adjustment programs in Ghana on the well-being of people, rural and urban, in his country. It was a very good thesis. And this reminds me, my late colleague, Peter Kennedy, was so helpful throughout that effort. Much as I have valued Mr. Bawumia as a scholar, I have admired him even more as a trustworthy gentleman. After graduation from SFU in 1995, and I remember his mother came all the way from Ghana and attended the Defense of Thesis ceremony. He spent 4 years, I don't know why, teaching economics at Baylor University in Waco, Texas. The social environment of the town was apparently not agreeable to his progressive inclinations. He used to complain to me. Mr. Bawumia returned to Ghana and joined the central bank in 2000. There, in the next 9 years, he rose to the position of Deputy Governor of the bank. During the same period, he applied his professional skills and knowledge to economic policy making, not only in Ghana, but also in Zimbabwe and Sierra Leone. Besides his consultancies for international organizations, he has lectured at universities, presented papers, and has published numerous pieces of scholarship. One thing I didn't know, maybe I don't didn't know many other things. But one thing I didn't know that Mr. Bawumia had any ambition or plan to take a plunge into the political waters of Ghana. So unbeknown to me, in 2008, if not earlier, he started trying his luck in the electoral process as a member of the New Patriotic Party, NPP. I'm sure it was no garden walk. But that's where the key to power was in order to make a difference in the lives of ordinary Ghanaians. Apparently, his economic expertise and diplomatic skills came handy. Mr. Bawumia persisted with his political party and its platform despite losing the elections in 2008 and 2012 narrowly, with the party contested in the Supreme Court. Eventually, the presidential slate of NPP won in the 2016 election, and Mr. Bawumia became the vice president of the Republic in early 2017. I'm sure in the last 3 years, Mr. Bawumia has discovered how rough and tumble the game of power is. At the same time, he seems to have a sense of fulfillment while delivering on the promises of his party to the people of Ghana. Well, I don't know how much the people of Ghana feel what he has delivered. I know that temperamentally he's a Democrat and believes in the politics of inclusion. Parenthetically, I wish the late Professor K.A Busia, who taught me sociology in the Netherlands, had done as well as Prime Minister of Ghana for 3 years from 1969. He was an excellent teacher, but apparently a very bad politician. An excellent teacher, excellent. I'm happy to see Mr. Bawumia again after his last visit to Vancouver in 2009, when he spent 6 months as a visiting scholar at UBC. Please welcome him to SFU.